Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to Shloka Day. Today's Shloka, Shloka number 12 of chapter 1. Tasya sanjanayan harsham
Tasya sanjanayan harsham
Guruvriddhav pitamahaha
Guruvriddhav pitamahaha
Simhanadam vinadyochaihi
Simhanadam vinadyochaihi
Shankham dadhmau pratapavan.
Shankham dadmau pratapavan.
Word for word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Tasya
Tasya
is
is
Sanjanayan,
sanjanayan,
increasing,
increasing,
Harsham,
harsham,
cheerfulness,
cheerfulness,
Kuruvriddhaha,
Guruvriddhaha,
the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty,
the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty,
Pitamaha,
Pitamaha,
the grandfather,
the grandfather,
Simhanadam,
Simhanadam,
roaring sound like that of a lion,
roaring sound like that of a lion,
Vinadya,
Vinadya,
vibrating,
vibrating,
Uchchaihi,
Uchchaihi,
very loudly,
very loudly,
Shankham,
Shankham,
conch shell,
conchshell,
Dhadmau,
Dadmau,
blue,
blue,
Pratapavan,
Pratapavan,
the valiant.
the valiant.
Translation. Then Bhishma,
Then Bhishma,
the great valiant grandsire
the great valiant grandsire
of the Kuru dynasty,
of the Kuru dynasty,
the grandfather of the fighters,
the grandfather of the fighters,
blew his conch shell very loudly,
blew his conch shell very loudly,
making a sound like the roar of a lion,
making a sound like the roar of a lion,
giving Duryodhana joy.
giving Duryodhana joy.
Let's look at the purport written by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada writes, the grandsire of the Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of the heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him, he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. So what has happened up until now, Duryodhana has spoken about the Pandavas' side and then the fighters on his side, and requested everybody to make sure that grandfather Bhishma is very well protected. That was what we saw in this shloka yesterday. So immediately Bhishmadeva understands that the nature of his nephew is such that he may be hiding some of his nervousness behind false sense of bravado. Therefore, to cheer up his nephew, he is blowing his conch shell very loudly, befitting his position as a lion. Rather, you should say grandnephew, grandson Duryodhana. Indirectly, by the symbolism of the conch shell, he informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side. But still, it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. Even though Bhishmadev knew that this battle itself was a lost cause for the Kauravas, for Dhritarashtra and his sons, still, out of a sense of duty, he would still give it his best, even though he's going to be fighting against Krishna on the other side, his worshipable Lord. Bhishma was aware that Duryodhana had no chance of victory as the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna was on the opposite side. However, he understood his grandnephew's anxiety, and to cheer him up, He blew his conch shell loudly. In olden days, blowing of the conch shell in the battlefield signaled the start of the war. This also conveyed to Duryodhana that Bhishma was ready to lead the Kaurava army and he would fight dutifully and spare no pain. Now, His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu writes an interesting commentary. Bhishma was a fascinating character. Living in a palace and maintaining celibacy is a very difficult task. In Vedic times, women can be brahmachari in spirit. Brahmacharte eti brahmachari, spirituality. All the women have to marry. Polygamy was allowed in some cases when they can take proper care of many wives. In Kali Yuga, it is not required as maintaining one family with one wife is difficult. We should not complicate our material life. So in the other yugas, man was allowed to maintain multiple wives as long as he was able to take care of them. In Kali Yuga, it is difficult to maintain even one family, one wife. Therefore, polygamy is not allowed in Kali Yuga. Bhishma, having been taken a vow to protect the throne of Kuru, and also he has enjoyed the money of the Kurus, there are two external reasons for him being on the side of the Kauravas, but it was actually the Lord's will. So many will ask this question, if Bhishmadev was such a great, he is cited as one of the 12 Mahajans after all in the Bhagavatam. So he is not an ordinary personality. He is a great devotee of the Lord. So the question always arises, if he's such a great devotee of the Lord, how come he's not on the side of the Lord? He should have been on the side of the Lord, but he was on the opposing side. So if you look at external reasons, what is the external reason? He was dependent on the Kurus, right? Because he had taken a vow not to take the throne. He sacrificed that aspect for the sake of his father's wanting to marry another time. So that's what he did. So for external reasons, he was dependent on the Kurus. So he cannot go fight against them, right? After living in the palace with them. But the internal reason why he's on the other side is because that was what the Lord's desire was, that he should be on the other side. The Lord wanted to give this lesson to the world that no matter how powerful one may be, if he is on the side of adharma, he will be destroyed. So Bhishma lost his life at the end of all of this. He has defeated all Kshatriyas when he abducted the 3 queens for his princess. He has fought with Lord Parashuram for 27 days. He not only equaled him in war, but almost defeated him. In that war, at the end, sound came from the sky and instructed Bhishma not to kill Parashuram, as he is a Brahmana. Otherwise, Bhishmadev would have finished Parashuram. But he was given an instruction not to kill. Why? Because Parashuram was a Brahmana. So you can see that characters and personalities in the Mahabharata have as much complexity as any one of us have, that when we come across different people in our lives also. It's not that easy to figure out people and the motivations behind what they do and why they do it. But ultimately, how do we understand all of this? It is simply the Lord's divine will. That's the reason that Bhishmadev was on the other side of this particular battle. So here, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra what is happening. Duryodhana has completed his little mini monologue, and now Bhishmadev has blown his conch shell to signal the beginning of this war.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.